Alright, if you've got a Nintendo Switch, then you know that Joy-Con drift is a complete pain to have to deal with, and Nintendo's head seems to be in the sand on this issue. Well, they might have a solution for you, but you might not like it. Okay, so earlier today I was reading Nintendo Life and I came across this story about how Nintendo have a new subscription service aimed to help you get your Joy-Cons fixed. Let's go take a look. So yes, here it is here. It's called the Wide Care Program, and it was originally reported actually over on VGC here. They're the ones who brought it to my attention. And it's a new kind of subscription service which costs around $15 a year, so it's pretty cheap. But it may kind of, I don't know, it made me feel a bit like ick about it, because Nintendo's head has kind of been in the sand, like I said, about this whole issue. And it's a widespread issue. I mean, I run an annual survey where I ask people who own Nintendo Switches whether they have basically had Joy-Con drift. And I'll put the links to all of these news stories and my survey in the description below, by the way. And I asked this year how many people filling out the survey have experienced at some point Joy-Con drift. And a massive 68% said they had suffered from drift at some point during their time of owning a Switch. And that's up year over year as well. So this issue isn't going away for Nintendo. They just seem to be kind of not doing much about it, which is kind of getting away from the point here about the subscription service. But the reason I kind of bring up the whole kind of how widespread it is because like a lot of consumer groups seem to be pressuring Nintendo into doing something about this, like the European Union. I know there's stuff with like maybe is it the FTC in the US? I'm not entirely sure. And here in the UK, there's been like a watchdog basically pressuring Nintendo to kind of fix this issue or do something about it. So there is widespread pressure for them to basically fix this issue. And I've said in the past how like back in the Xbox 360 days when the Xbox 360 suffered from the red ring of death, Microsoft just basically had to at some point accept that there was a problem and take it on the chin to the tune of like $1 billion and fix it. And Nintendo's good for that. They've got the money in the coffers to kind of pay for this sort of issue and do a recall or fix it or whatever, but they're seemingly not going to. We're 5 years in, this problem hasn't gone away, and this new kind of Apple Care-esque subscription service just kind of seems a bit of an odd kind of solution to this problem, and it might make people feel just a little bit kind of, I don't know, uncomfortable. It's Japan only at the minute, so no plans at the time of recording at least to launch this in Nintendo of America, Nintendo of Europe, Nintendo of UK and other markets. So yeah, only for Japan right now. And this website, again, there's a link in the description, just kind of outlines what you can and can't do with the subscription. It's not just for the Joy-Cons, of course. You can also use it to get your Switch Lite kind of fixed, your controllers, your dock, and your adapters should you have any problems with those anywhere. And for a flat rate kind of repair service, I actually think it's pretty good value, especially like say you live in a household with like 5 kids and you know your Nintendo console gets really heavily used and thrown about a bit and it's just generally loved, let's say that, then I think like $1.50 a month or you know $15 a year is pretty good value. And it says here in the article on VGC that you can claim up to 6 repairs a year, and I guess that's them kind of towing the line on what they think is acceptable for how many repairs you can do. So that's the kind of overview of the program as a whole. Like I say, I just think it's kind of amusing from kind of the perspective that Nintendo's had this widespread problem, and instead of coming out and saying yes, there's an issue, we're going to fix it, this is one of the things they're publicly saying, oh, you can now pay us money to fix your Joy-Cons for you. The optics on it aren't great. I mean, I actually think it's a compelling service and it's not a bad thing to do. I mean, Apple Care loads of people use that. I don't personally, but I know a lot of people do sign up for Apple Care, and it offers them just that little bit of peace of mind. And I actually think this is a good kind of thing for Nintendo to be getting into, kind of the whole kind of services side of stuff. Is a good way for them to kind of basically solve this problem for a lot of people. You know, you could be paying $60 just to repair one set of Joy-Cons. In some instances, like I know generally a lot of people said, I mean, I even asked on the survey, did Nintendo fix your Joy-Cons for free? And let's see, what did it say here? Yeah, 90% got a repair for free. So in most cases, Nintendo are fixing these things for free, which is nice to see. But when they did charge, it cost people around $40, which is less than ideal, isn't it? So having this option at $15 a year, if you do suffer from drift a lot, it's not great, but it's better, isn't it? Don't know. I have no idea if they'll launch this kind of wider to other markets. It would be interesting to see if they do, but I just thought it was an interesting little thing to kind of bring to your attention that they are now doing in Japan, and just see what people think about it, really. Yeah, so going back to the story on VGC, like it says here, they've faced multiple lawsuits about this matter, but they're continuing to sell defective products rather than fix it, is what it says here. It's interesting, basically. Users need a smartphone to subscribe to it. It's unclear whether they're going to launch it yet. Okay, so VGC have reached out to Nintendo to ask if they're going to actually launch this wider afield, so it'd be interesting to see if they actually comment on that. So yeah, Nintendo's own subscription service to fix your Joy-Cons. It's called WideCare. What do you think about this? Has your Joy-Con broken? Let me know in the description, in the comments, sorry. And yeah, I'd just be curious to see what you think of this service and whether you think it's a bit cheeky from Nintendo, whether you think it's useful. I kind of think it's both, which is, it is what it is. Useful for some people, but the optics on it aren't great. Yeah, Joy-Con drift just does not seem to be going away, does it? And I think this just shines a light on it. Anyway, that's it from me. I just thought I'd do a quick video on this, as I thought it was kind of interesting that they're doing something about Joy-Con drift. Cheers.